Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Veronica, and today we are in this area of Willow Creek where we have some kind of on the more expensive side houses, and this is the house where the pancakes usually live. And I want to rebuild that because this house kind of looks as if it tries to be symmetrical, but it doesn't manage it that well, and in the same time it kind of looks as if it's mimicking the house of neighbors, so that's maybe not so good either. And also what I do not like is that these pieces of roof, these flat ones, they kind of have no ending up here, and there is like an empty triangle up here, so that doesn't look so good as well. The next thing I do not like is, of course, that infamous EA lighting where you have like just some random dots of lights everywhere around the house, and there is no proper consistent lighting around the house. Like you see, the dining room doesn't have a single light in it, so it's very dark in here. What else I don't like is that we have a couple of absolutely empty porches, like balcony and a porch. This porch has nothing in it except for this fire prevention system, and this one has nothing in it. That's it. And also in this house we have kind of a nice open backyard, and that's I was hoping to live in the end. And I like how the back of this house looks. It looks cute, but I think that I can do better. And the side looks much better than the front because the front looks kind of a little bit random for me. So I think that I'm gonna rebuild that. I'm gonna use base game only, and also I'm gonna use mostly the same items I already have in this house. I'm gonna fix some stuff like, wall height, because in here we have medium wall height again. I'm gonna replace some of the furniture pieces we have in this house because for now it's okay, but I think that it can be better, so we will try to make it better. So I think let us get started. So my goal is to make this house like in exactly same budget or less. So let us get started. First thing I wanted to do is I wanted to shrink this part so that we do not have this like weird topping area for our porches, for our balconies. And I'm gonna place some of the furniture in my household inventory, and I'm gonna sell all of the lights because as it's EA built, we do not need these lights. And why was this painting up this high? This would have been better, but maybe F5 did not exist back when the base game was released. That's cute. We have a toilet paper on top of the toilet. Alright, whatever. Weird placement of the furniture is everywhere in this house, like a couple of sets of three of the same paintings on both of the walls. Like placement of these plates like so low so that you can hit them with your knee if you want to. And I will see if I will want to leave all of this same furniture we have around or not. And now I'm gonna remove the floor plan because I think that I will do differently. And by the way, about the backyard, we still need a trash can. We will need a grill because I'm gonna place it back anyway because I like placing grills in my build. I don't know why, but I like that. And I'm gonna remove all of the landscaping and terrain paint, but this bird bath I'm gonna leave. I just think that it's cute and I will find some kind of a use for it somewhere in the house. And now I'm gonna remove all of the terrain paint. And that's what we have. It's an empty house now. But now I think it's time for me to figure out what I want to change about this house. And first thing, I want to make it a little bit maybe more symmetrical in the front because this part is a little bit wider than this one. There are a couple of things I can do about that. I can expand this part a little bit, just like that, but then I'll need to copy this window up here, and that doesn't look bad. But if I do it like that, then I will have to scoot this part like that. And we'll need to scoot the door so that it's all like centered in the front. Then I do not like that these pieces are not being centered, and that's easily fixable if I just shrink this house a little bit on this dimension. And I was thinking about doing that as well because I don't think that this house really needs to be that big because it was a little bit too big for my liking. And if you're watching my videos for some time now, you might know that I'm not liking houses in The Sims are too big. And what else I think I'll need to do? I think I will just go around and delete all of the windows we have on the sides and in the back. And I'm gonna place them back later. I think that in the back I can leave them. And I was thinking that we still will need to add some like asymmetry for this house because I think that when it's perfectly symmetrical, it's gonna be a little bit weird. so I do not really want to do it like perfectly symmetrical. So I think that we can make like a floating second floor piece up here. I can sink in this part of this house, like where we have our dining room. Dining room it is. I should lower this down because I don't want to work with medium wall height. I hate medium wall height to be honest. And now we have like a tiny little balcony up here. And now we have a glitched fence up on this side. So that's not good. And about the tiny balcony, what I was thinking is I might replace this tiny balcony with just a piece of roof. That's why I decided to like kind of sink this part of the house a little bit to the back. And about these windows, I think that we can have a row of them, like three of them, and I can raise the roof a little bit so that it's closer to the edge. So kind of something like that for the front, what my initial thinking about this house. And I think that we are gonna benefit if I'm gonna give access from this bump out to our balcony and not from the front, because otherwise it's not gonna look very good if I give access from the front. I think like that it looks a little bit more neat. So this is what my idea for the front of the house is. So now I think that we'll need to replace the front door because now we have shorter walls, and I might use this one, but I think I'm gonna benefit if I'll just use the same one we already had in here, but in the short wall height variation, like that. And actually, the next thing I wanted to do is lower this house down a little bit. I prefer when my house is on a foundation to have at least 3 steps, but not more than 3 steps. Three is a perfect number for the steps to the house, I think. So that's what I'm usually trying to go for. And now for the back. So that for the back, I think that we can have something like that. We'll have big windows in this area still. That's what I'm going for. I think that that's going to be okay. And we'll have a couple of smaller porches. Like not porches, but a balcony and a porch. So that in here we'll be able to place like maybe a couple of planters, and here we can place an easel and stuff like that. And now let us go inside and figure out the floor plan. And I think floor plan wise, we will be able to have like a grand staircase right in here from the entryway. In here, we will be able to have our small now kitchen because apparently I cannot fit like the same size kitchen in here. In here, we can have like some sort of an office area. In here, we'll be able to have our living area, and we apparently will have only one bathroom in here because I just cannot find the perfect spot for that. And what I'm thinking is that part of this house is gonna be maybe Eliza's, and this part can be Bob's. In here, I think that we will have a fence upstairs, so that we'll have like a bigger entryway down here so that it looks all nice and fancy. And I think that yes, it turned out that one of the bedrooms is gonna have two balconies and the other one will have none. And that is just because I made it so that both of the balconies are on the opposite side of the house, and that doesn't look so good. And now, actually, that I think of that, I can easily just either place this balcony back as it was originally, and we'll have both of them will have at least one of the balconies, and that's going to be kind of fair now. So I can make it like that. I need to place back some of the windows that I did remove because I was not able to figure out the floor plan right away because it is always a struggle for me. I think we can have some sort of sunroom vibes in our dining room, but I think that it's gonna be better if I make it somewhat like that, and we'll hang like a pretty picture in there. In the kitchen, we'll still have just these two windows. As for this side of the house, I think that I'm just gonna go for like some sort of symmetrical vibe, and we'll have just a couple of windows upstairs and a couple of windows in the same spots downstairs, so that at least it's something we have down there. And as for all of the colorings of the walls, I'm gonna make it so that we not have any trim. And now I think we can go inside and we can furnish the whole house. And I'm a little bit already tired because I spent almost an hour trying to figure out all of this floor plan. However silly and weird it sounds, but yeah, I spend a lot of time trying to figure out the floor plan. It usually takes me so long. So I've made my mind. This is gonna be Eliza's bedroom, Bob's bedroom. In here, we are gonna have their common bathroom in Eliza's style because Eliza is the main person in this house. And in here, we'll have the same wallpaper we had originally, the same for the kitchen for now. And as for the stair railing, I think that we did not have any, but I can place something like that, so that's kind of simple but fancy in the same time, or maybe something like that. That looks good as well. And that means that we'll need a similar fence for that. And as for the trim, I'll just make it white on this side so that it matches the house. And now we need all the arches and walls, and I think I'm gonna use the same arches everywhere where we had arches. And as for the bedrooms, I think that originally we used to have these doors, and I'm gonna leave it the way it was. I'm just gonna center everything around here, and that's gonna be kind of an empty of a stair landing. And now I think I should go around and place back all of the furniture I was sneaking into my household inventory. I think that the chess table that we used to have in Bob's bedroom will go perfectly on our front porch. I don't think that I'm gonna bring back that chair and the sitting area we had in here originally. As for all of these shower and tub stuff, we used to have all of these toiletries we used to have in a common bathroom. I think I'm gonna sell them all, and I'm gonna use only the ones we used to have in Eliza's ensuite. And I'm sorry, Eliza, but you're downgrading, yeah. Sorry for that, or maybe not so sorry. As for our living room, I'm kind of just bringing all of the original furniture we used to have in here back. And I think now that I might benefit actually if I make it only 6 chairs and if I don't make it like all 8 of them that used to be here originally. And I'm a little bit unsure that your Sims will be able to access this one, but it looks good if I place it like that, so I want to leave it the way it is now. And we used to have this fancy painting in here, so I think that I might use it in here. And we used to have these plates in our living room, and I think that they would look much better in the dining. At least they're gonna look much more logical out here, because why would we have them at this height in the living room? Why? There is no reason why. And this fire alarm system can go outside here. This bookcase will go well into our office, I think. And I even might steal that desk that Bob used to have with the computer into our common office. And I'm sorry, Bob, but I think that it's a little bit more practical for me to have it like that. And if the grid bothers you, I'm sorry, I like building with the grid, it's a little bit more comfortable for me. And as for Eliza's bedroom, she kind of used to have some sort of a second living room in her bedroom, so we might still do that for her. She actually has a little bit more furniture for her bedroom than we have for Bob's. I think that the fact that I've given her a bigger bedroom is not that bad. I think that the carpets that this rug we used to have in that kind of a breakfast snack, weird one with no lighting, I'm gonna bring it down here in the office we have. And I think that as for the kitchen, that's gonna be quite an expensive for the kitchen, but is that a bad thing? I kinda doubt that. I think I'm just gonna wrap it around here, so that's gonna look good. And we even have some extra cabinets so I can sell them. And this way we will be even able to stick our trash can out here. And if you're worried that your Sims will not understand like how am I supposed to use the trash can, these kind of overlaps, they will understand. They are not so stupid. Even though sometimes they seem literally, I don't know, insufferable, but not considering trash cans. And Eliza used to have a couple of nightstands. I think that she will have only one now because on this side we already have a dresser. She doesn't need a nightstand all that much. And now I kind of hate that these are two different heights. And I just wonder if there is any chance for me to fix that. I usually kind of try to compensate that by placing some sort of a light on top of it so that it kind of gives us the reason we have not even tops of doors and windows, because I hate how it looks when they are not so uneven. But it does it look silly? I think that I cannot tell now. But what I can tell is that the house looks for me a little bit better in general now, so that's something to be happy about. And I also decided to go around and stick some of these columns on the edges. Now I think that it looks a little bit silly because these columns are definitely either indoors columns or anyway they're not supposed to be sticked like that to the house. But I think that that kind of gives some sort of weird vibes to the Pancakes house, and that's not so bad for me. And we still have some more furniture to place around, and I think that this table that used to be nightstand for Eliza can go somewhere up here as a stand for flower. We did not have in here. We used to have this statue paired with this lamp on a dresser before originally, and I'm gonna do the same in here. And oh, I completely forgot that we used to have these storage units in our dining room, and it kind of goes well against this wall, and that means this plates will go well up here. I'm just gonna stick in here some sort of flower so that it looks a little bit more filled in the end. And we used to have these kind of lights in the front of our house and in the back on the porches. I'm gonna place them back because they were okay for me. And we used to have these upper cabinets, so I'm just gonna delete them all from my household inventory because I'm not bothering with them not slotting as the way I want them to slot. And I want to make like a shortened one above the stove, and I don't want to make it all the way across the kitchen. I think that one corner is kind of enough, and up here we can stick something else. I'll have to stick a sink down here because I'm not able to center it between these two without it looking silly. So in the kitchen, we used to have quite a lot of appliances. Like we used to have a microwave, which I'm gonna place back. I'm gonna place it up here so that yes, it's again the window, but it's not again the stove. And that is a good stove. It doesn't catch on fire with the oven, but it still can do that. And for more decor for the kitchen, I think that we'll need some ventilation for our stove. That one looks cute. And we, of course, like who am I gonna surprise with that? But we do need a fruit bowl. That's like a literal necessity for the kitchen in the Sims. Maybe also an urn because it usually gives some kind of a creepy, cute vibes, and I like the way this urn looks, especially in this pink. That just looks cute, and we can have a teapot. I know that it's like 770 simoleons, which is a lot, but if it looks cute, I'm happy to spend a lot in The Sims. And I think that up here we can have, instead of flower, some sort of room divider in the corner, kind of occupying the room. That must be pretty much like the general stuff done for our dining and kitchen area, also for our office. As for our living room, we used to have this rug and it fits perfectly in here, so I think that I might use it here again. And we used to have a couple of these couches. I think that one is gonna be enough. I'm gonna have here like that, kind of rotated, maybe not 45 degrees, but maybe something like that. So that we'll have a couple of chairs rotated as if maybe some people were sitting down here talking. I would like to place here some kind of a tiny coffee table in between them so that we have at least something in here. And that looks cute, but all of them are kind of huge. I'll need to do a terrible thing and size the table down, apparently. I hate doing that because when you do that, you will not be able to slot stuff properly to it because you see how it jumps. That's not nice at all. If I raise it up a couple of times, it's gonna be kind of okay. I'm gonna stick this flower closer to our window, and I know that it kind of clips, but what else can I do about that? So we'll have it out here like that. And sorry for the flower clipping, but what else can I do? And I'm gonna center the TV in front of the couch so that it's all cute and beautiful. And I think that we used to have here like a built-in thing with TV, and I'm gonna make something similar, but not that obviously built-in as it was, because it was built-in, but it was kind of a weirdly built-in, I would say. So we can have a couple of these cabinets stuck in here like that, and I might stick in here some sort of table with some cute legs like this one, so that now it looks like a built-in cabinet, and it's not a built-in, it's just a cabinet, cute cabinet out here. And we'll have a couple of corners where we might stick something for skill building. And about skill building, we still not have Bob's bedroom, and we do need a Bob's bedroom because Bob needs a bedroom. Why do I keep calling him Bob's? I don't know, but Bob does need to have an area to sleep, to have an area to work out, an area to just sit, relax, and think about his failed marriage. So I'm gonna give him some of these tiny cans. We used to have these chairs somewhere. I'm just gonna sell them. And he used to have some stuff like that around his room. This used to be in the living room. I think that I might stick this into Bob's bedroom, even though I know that this wasn't here, but I don't like that. And we also had a couple of posters up here, and I think that they will go well on top of his nightstand. On this side, I might just stick some sort of lamp, and Bob can have a living chair out here, maybe in the brown, so that it all looks depressing as his life is with the brown lamp. This wall is kind of empty. Maybe a room divider can fix that. I think if Bob would buy himself a room divider, that would probably be something a little bit more like that. Because the one we had in the other part of the house is a little bit more like Eliza's style. I think that actually Eliza, if she would buy a room divider, she would get something like that because that is like fancy, beautiful one. And of course, she's not going for like all fancy and beautiful. She's just going for stuff that looks expensive. I'm gonna make it like here so that we have our living room of sorts kind of divided from her bedroom area. And now I think that I've almost did manage to stick all of the stuff around the house. We just have some more things to place around here, not so much, luckily. And I think that I will be able to go for some more details now. We might like having this mirror. I think Eliza used to have that in her bedroom. I'm gonna stick it right here. I'm gonna bring it in the white swatch so that it match all of your bedroom. And about our backyard, I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna stick these chairs out here and this grill somewhere out here so that it would be all out. And we have 20 more thousand of simoleons, so that's actually quite a lot. So I think that we will be able to furnish this house quite normally. And first thing, I want to place some lights. I think that I should have done that before I started sticking around furniture everywhere because I could have seen better if I would have lights. And I like placing a lot of lights. I know that it turns out to be usually kind of expensive, but if you have more lights in Sims, then usually the house looks brighter, it looks cuter. Just my thoughts. So about this staircase landing, I think that we can afford to have some sort of a statement light up here, even though the base game doesn't provide us with any like statement light. But I think that if I place something like that looks a little bit more fancy already. As for our dining room, I think that I did place here a carpet. Apparently I did not. But we can have a big lamp up here as well. Maybe this one in the blue swatch so that it looks cute. In our living room, I think that mostly the lights is going to be like some corner lights or the top light, the same for the office and all of the bedrooms. We don't need anything extra. So I think that we might now go around and add some slight decor, or maybe not so slight. The first thing I think about is that we might need a backsplash in the kitchen because we do not have any now. And I think about this one from the base game, it's kind of on the expensive side looking, and that's actually on an expensive side all by itself. I would like to place some of these cup holders maybe somewhere near our tea maker station, but I'm not going to do that because I think that the kitchen is going to be a little bit overcluttered this way. And for now, we still have these two counters to cook on. And for now, I think that I'm gonna try and stick in here some curtains. I really like placing these blinds because they are kind of more on neutral side looking and they do not overweight the whole house. And as for most of the other rooms, I think that I might try and go for something more of this like in cream color so that at least it just gives something. And now I look at it and I feel like this living room is a little bit too white. And for the bathroom, I think more blinds, just like that. And as for the floorings, I'm not gonna change anything. I think that they are kind of okay the way they already are. In our dining room, I think that we might benefit from some kind of a carpet, at least some kind of. And base game always a little bit disappoints me with the carpets because there are no carpet that would match by the size and that I did not use in any other room already. So I think we'll have to have this kind of carpet in our dining room. And I wanted to stick in here some kind of a big plant somewhere, at least like that, and maybe like that, so that we have this area not so empty anymore. And of course, a duck. So that's your company for your dining time. In our entryway, I think that we can have some decor. Like, at least I'm pretty sure we can afford a coat rack in the white because it's mostly the white area in here. We can also afford to have a shoe shelf in here. And I think that I will need to stick in here some sort of a mirror so that it looks at least cute. And some sort of a runner like that in more of a green color. And I'm gonna place the same rock up here so that looks cute. And up here we do not have anything so interesting, so I think that we can have some sort of painting up here. Maybe the thumb bob, maybe the tragic clown. I think tragic clown is gonna be a little bit more fun up here. And Bob Pancakes in the Pancakes house. Why don't we have Bob in the Bob's house? I think that's gonna be good. That's fun. I like that. I'm gonna leave him here. He will stay. And now I think for the living room. For the living room, I thought that we might stick in here something to do because it might be a fun spot to have something to do. And actually, bonsai tree can go well in the office. That's where I usually like placing them. Like, your Sims would like to see some greenery around them when they're sitting and working for endless hours. And maybe I would even like to stick in here a bar, so they would be able to use this bar. And that might be kind of useful for us all, because if they can use the bar, then we have kind of figure out what to do with this whole area, and that's not so bad. And I think that on the side of this table, we will need to stick in here some kind of floral lamp, something like that, and another plant. Never too many plants around the Sims house, and one more plant out here. And we might stick in here some another picture, so that's something to look at. And I kind of leave the whole area a little bit empty, and I think that I might fix that by placing a tiny coffee table in the middle. And maybe that will be the perfect placement for the chicken, because why don't we place chicken? That's gonna look good. Or maybe this one. Oh, I think that rooster is gonna look a little bit better. So we'll have a rooster in here. And he brings in some colors to this boring living room we have out here. And now let us go to the office. So the office is not gonna be all that complicated. I think that all I wanna place in here is in here some of the more bushy plant like this one, and that gives me a lot of office plant vibe. And don't clip outside, please. I think that we can have a cork board in here, and we can also have a fish tank up here. And I know it is actually not so good to place your fish in the rounded fish tank, but it seems so. Nothing to be worried about. Your fish will survive. You do not even need to feed your fish in the Sims. So what am I to tell about round fish tanks? And we will have a rod out here. The first floor should be done now. We have a complete office, we have a complete kitchen, dining, living area, entryway, and that must be it. For our second floor, we have a hallway, and now I think that we kind of already have Bob's bedroom, except for the fact that I want to switch and move these posters up here so that they are kind of closer to the gym area. In here, I consider that it's just like Bob's hobby area where he can do some reading, where he can maybe work out a little bit. I'm gonna switch the color of this bookshelf to the darker brown Bob prefers apparently, and maybe of this box as well. And the one thing that Bob's room does lack is a plant, so he can have one at least up here. And that will do for Bob. And actually his porch doesn't look as bad already as well, because he kind of has some stuff to do around here. And as for Eliza has a little bit more around his room, so we'll need to figure out a little bit more for her. Like we can have this painting on top of it, even though it doesn't really match because all of her room is pink and it's not even closely pink. I think that she will have two room dividers in her room because it's a nice way to fill out the area when you don't know what to place around here. Also, I think that she used to have some tiny lights on top of her nightstand. This one it is. It was. I'm gonna bring it back. I think out here in our sitting area, I'm gonna have like this light. She used to have one like that, so that's kind of logical for me. And I'm gonna stick in here this rose rock in here in the rose color, of course. So that's, I think, is gonna be Eliza's bedroom. She has some empty spots in her room. I might actually stick in here some birds like that. That is a silly addition, I know that, but I think that she would like to have something like that around her room. And I know I've told that I do not want to stick to nightstand for her bedroom, but I will. Because I just figured that it would be really cute if she has some sort of a diary on her nightstand, so she will have one. And that must be Eliza's bedroom done. And what we have now is Eliza's front balcony, where I was thinking that we might just stick a couple of lounge chairs, or like not lounge chairs, but outdoors chairs. Maybe she just likes sitting out here with her friends and enjoying the weather. And out here we have our last room to do, and that is the common bathroom. So we have a tub, we have a toilet, we have a sink. And I think that we can easily, like very much easily afford to have a shower in here as well. Just like that. So that it's completely functional bathroom now. Everybody's gonna be happy to use that. And now we need to just add some clutter around here. Like we're gonna add this basket just for some maybe dirty laundry. And they have some in here because it's the pancakes. I'm gonna stick in here this thing because that's gonna look cute by the bathtub and that's kind of like useful to have. And some storage out here. And of course, where would I go without a plant? Or two. And I'm gonna hang some towels up here and down here. Couple of ropes up here. I'm gonna give the towels different colors so that it's kind of like, one of them is Bob's, another one is Eliza's, the same for the ropes. Because they have like these whole gender stereotypes around them in here. And we are gonna have one more towel by our sink and also some toothbrushes and a soap and some storage above the toilet. That must be pretty much it for the house now. So now the only thing we actually have left to do is to finish out our whole exterior. And I think that that's going to be actually quite easy to do because what do we need to do out there? Landscaping, and that must be it. So we have a bathroom, we have our bedrooms. I think that I forgot to stick a light out here. That's so much better now. And yeah, now we need to figure out the landscaping. So for the backyard, it was not fenced in. And do any of our neighbors? Yes, some of them do have fenced in backyard. That means that we can have fenced in one too. And we might have a pathway actually towards the front of the house. I think that we will use something like that because it's kind of like simple and more so neutral maybe. About the backyard, I have a couple of small ideas. So, one side of our backyard is going to be like a sitting area where you can hang out with your friends, maybe where you can cook something for yourself, where you can eat, and we'll have our pink umbrella, pink sitting area. And on this side of our backyard, I think I'm going to make it one tile smaller. But I think that on this side of the backyard, we will be able to have like a green patch and I'm gonna stick flower boxes like literally everywhere out here, even though I do not care if either of them likes gardening. I like gardening in The Sims, so they will have a garden. And can we afford the pool? We can afford the pool. Maybe we should have a pool. I've changed my mind a little bit. I'm sorry for that, but I've changed my mind. So we will have a pool in here. I'm gonna stick all of my planters up on this side now. We'll have our sitting area right from our house and we'll have our garden area everywhere around here. So that is kind of what I have for our backyard, like plan wise. And as for the pool area, I don't think that we'll have anything also special. And we'll just have a pool ladder in here and a couple of lights on each corner of the pool. That's going to be like mostly the default pool. But I think the pancakes, they can afford to have a pool. So that's what they'll have. And now let us go for landscaping. And in this challenge, I prefer not using debug for my landscaping, so I'm just gonna stick a couple of trees around here. We are gonna have maybe a tree in the front, and everything else is just gonna be bushes. Like this lavender we can have in the front of the house. First thing I need to do is to place some more bushes around here where we have our planters. And sometimes I really do like to stick in some of the plants directly into the planters. Like we are not gonna have the plant that are gonna be usable in the game in the planters, but I can stick something like that up here, or maybe some roses like this, so that we have some plants in the planters right away, and that actually usually looks kind of cute, I think. And as I'm not using debug, I'm not going to be able to use like all that much plants because I literally just cannot afford that. So I will have to go for more of minimalistic landscaping, like we are just going to have several plants, like some plants, but we will not have all that many. So that must be it for the landscaping, and the only thing I literally left to do is to do some terrain paint and the house will be pretty much done. And the mailbox, of course. And sometimes in the areas like this tiny garden, I just like to place some stones, some rocks, as if people were really walking around here. And that actually must be it. And I think that I should give you a slight, a short one room tour to show you around. And this is actually quite an expensive house in the end. and we managed to fit quite a lot in here, so that is not bad. And I think that we managed to do quite well around here. So this is the exterior of the house. Now we have a little bit wider of this bump out, and our front is a little bit more symmetrical now. Not perfectly symmetrical, but a little bit more symmetrical. So that's good as well. And we have a smaller house now, so it's not like that far into the back of the lot now. But I don't think that that's a bad thing. But we do not have any windows on this side, but that's not a bad thing either. And as for the backyard, our backyard is kind of filled this time. We have a pool now. We have like a big patio area in here where you can grill something, eat something, where you can garden, where you can watch some birds, bird bathing. But you cannot have a lounge area in here because I did not place any lounge chairs here. But you can replace like this table and place some lounge chairs instead of that. And we have trash can kind of sneaked into this tiny corner. And yeah, a lot of planters and a lot of plants. Now let us go inside. As for the inside, as we enter, actually as we go to the front porch, we see a chess table where you can play some chess, so some more stuff to do, maybe. And as we go into the house, we have a tiny entryway where we have a shoe rack, where we have a coat rack, shoe shelf, mirror, and a grand staircase. I decided to make it grand in here. And the floor plan is kind of closed off, so if you go left, you will enter this living room, which is mostly white, where we have a TV, a bar, something to read around here, areas to sit and read around here, so you can sit in here and enjoy your time off. And I've lost my curtains in the process of me doing this house. Now we have it back, so that's okay. We have curtains in here. And it all looks nice and cute. We have a lot of decor around here, a lot of greenery. And from this living room, we can access an office. And here we have a tiny fish tanks, a couple of plants, and we have a bonsai tree in here. And also in here, we have a cork board and these bookshelves. So more stuff to read and a cork board and a bonsai tree. So you can even practice some gardening around here. As you go to this part of the house, we can access our dining room. And here we have like a formal dining area where we have some plates displayed. We have expensive painting on the wall, some expensive plates on the wall, room divider, a dog, which is important, and also a mirror. And from here we can access the kitchen. The kitchen is kind of on the smaller side. It's kind of wrapped around here, but it's actually not that small of a kitchen because in here we have like even two functional counters, considering that we have a couple of them cluttered and a couple of them occupied with appliances. So that is a win for me. And in here we have a checkerboard flooring, which was here by default. In here we have the most expensive fridge in the game and one of the most expensive stoves. So that is a good kitchen in here. And as we go through this grand staircase upstairs, we go to this hallway. In this hallway, we have a couple of paintings, a couple of more art. So we have a tragic clown in here and a Bob, who could have been a tragic clown as well because he's tragic. And from here, we can access three rooms, the only bathroom in this house and two bedrooms. In the first bedroom, which is Bob's, we have this thing, this box instead of nightstand. We have one of the cheapest beds. We have a room divider, which does look a little bit rustic as well. We have gym equipment and also some area to read. So Bob has some stuff to do around here. Also, we have this woodworking table on his private balcony. From this door, we can access Eliza's bedroom. In here, we have like a second living room in this house because Eliza maybe likes some guests around here. Maybe she's like on the popular side, and she had like a lot of these like I don't know, conventionally girlish clutter around her room and some weird stuff. So she has a weirdly pink room. And she has two balconies. On one of them, she has an easel, and on the other one of them, she has a couple of chairs so that she can sit in here, watch the area, and enjoy her time. So this must be it. So this is the build, and I'm gonna post it on my gallery now. My gallery name is Gloveron, just like my YouTube name, and this build is going to be called Pancakes House Reno, and it's smaller, more cluttered, and maybe better, I'm not sure. And it's going to be posted under my hashtag, which is Gloverant, and under another one, the Willow Creek renovations, and this house has two bedrooms, one bathroom, so that's it. And posting that on my gallery. So thank you all for watching. And if you like videos like that, you can subscribe to my channel. And I think that this must be a goodbye.